Oh, someone might be coming to say hello.
Oh!
Oh, so we might swear a little bit today, mightn't we?
Well, I probably will get overexcited, so I might do a bit of swearing.
I'm so excited, Joe, what we're doing today. And listen, this is all, we're usually always audio, aren't we?
We are, but for this episode, our listeners can actually watch us as well on YouTube.
It's quite exciting, isn't it?
It is, and I love our little studio.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't
Feels
it?
ever so cosy, doesn't it?
It does.
And look, we didn't know what each other was wearing, but we're very colour coordinated.
Yeah, I
We've
know,
got,
it's
like, the
'cause
nice
we're in
pinky
sync
colours.
now.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Aren't we?
Yeah.
So today we have a Gavin and Stacey bonanza. Gavin and Stacey Special. This is all about what's happened in the past, the magical moments, because we're on the countdown. We are leading up to the finale.
We are, aren't we? It's not long now, is it?
It's not long at all, Joe. So, Joe, ever since we started doing our Off the Telly pod, Gavin and Stacey has been a constant throughout. And sometimes we mention stuff and we might not be able to remember a certain scene, but I know that you've been watching it back.
Well,
haven't
yeah,
you?
I had to, because there's so much that I can't remember.
Yeah.
So I've been watching it all back from the very first episode and the very first series with Eva, my daughter. We've been watching it all the way through, and so we are up to speed now.
Up to speed, but we are going to get in a couple of guests to fill in any missing blanks, aren't we?
Yeah, I can't remember all of it.
There's a lot to remember, Joe.
There is.
So who have we got coming in? Tell
We
us.
have
Tell
got
us.
the gorgeous Adrian Scarborough, who plays Pete. And we have got the wonderful Robert Wilfort, who plays Jason, my brother, in Gavin and Stacey.
Are we going to find out what happened in the fishing trip?
Are we? And then later on, we're going to be chatting to Christine Gernon, who's directed every single episode and special that there's ever been of Gavin and Stacey.
I am very excited to talk to her as well.
It's going to be quite difficult, though, because I'm going to be talking and asking them questions about something which I know that I'm not allowed to talk about. It's like a big double thing.
I know,
of like,
but you know, well, we want to go back. We want to delve into the old days and all your favourites, and that's what everybody wants to hear about.
Moments, their favourite bits, watching and acting, and favourite fun times.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
Shall we introduce them?
Come
Shall we
on.
get them in?
Let's get the boys in.
Look at this. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
You two kings of Buckinghamshire.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Can I open this now?
You can.
Oh wow.
It does need a little explanation.
Oh, go on, explain.
Well, I
it.
bought the
Oh.
cracker because I thought that would be good for audio. But okay,
you
so
left a
that's
sample.
this year's slow gin.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah.
Oh, Adrian's amazing
Yeah, but
allotment.
The other thing that's at the bottom that's wrapped in foil will really need an explanation.
Yes. I'm gonna have a taste of this. Can I just drink a
Yeah.
small bit straight?
I didn't bring anything, but
I didn't bring
I
any.
bring my love.
I didn't bring any for you.
That's
No,
nice.
yeah, that's I know.
Sorry.
That's
It
nice.
is very nice.
Oh,
Oh, that
that's
is
nice.
delicious.
But
What's
this,
this?
okay, so this is a bit weird, but I promise you it'll be amazing.
Oh god, wow.
Okay, so that is an elephant garlic bulb,
Oh my god, it's garlic. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
isn't it?
Stop
Brilliant.
it. This is not one bulb of garlic.
That is one bulb of elephant garlic, yeah. And
Bloody hell.
here's the thing: shove it up your turkey's gecker,
Get
and
it?
pop it in, or grate it into your nut roast or something. But but elephant garlic's really mild and really, really
Well, I've
lovely.
never even heard of elephant
Yeah.
garlic before.
Well, that came from my allotment. That did.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Thank you so much.
very,
Thank you.
very
That is so kind of you.
This is lovely.
Right, I'm gonna wrap
Usually
it
I
all
get
up.
bemused looks, so you've
God,
done
that's
very well.
nice.
That's amazing.
Send you a photo on Christmas Day.
Thanks.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh my god, pull my cracker with me. Whoa!
Hey, I got the hat.
I'm not going to pull mine because I'm going to keep it for Christmas Day.
You
and
can
say this
keep
is
it
from
and say this is
from
Adrian
Adrian
Scarborough's
Scarborough's cracker. Adrian and Rob and Joe. I'm saying and Joe. You know why I'm saying and Joe?
Why?
Because I can't believe I'm in the same room as three Gavin and Stacey superstars. It's like a dream.
Oh my God, thank you so much, boys, for coming on this.
Thank you.
I
Thank
can't
you for
actually
asking.
stop laughing because it's like I've got my two brothers there. and it's like you're sitting opposite me. It's just so funny. And I'm interviewing you. What happened on the fishing trip? I can
Oh,
ask
come
you.
on, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just
Let's
lower him
build
in.
up to that. Let's
That's
build
the
up
one
to
that everybody's waiting for.
Yeah.
Desperately waiting.
You know what the answer's going to be.
Now, I know we can't really delve into the Christmas special.
We're under strict instructions not to say anything, aren't we?
I know.
But also, we don't want to give spoilers, do we?
Well, we don't.
Well, we'd
No,
be in
we don't.
incredible trouble.
But also, they have revealed a sort of a brief kind of synopsis, haven't they?
They've
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've not seen
It's quite
that.
bare bones, though, isn't
It is the bare bones of
very
it.
bare bones.
What was
Yeah.
the bare bones? Everybody gets back together.
I think it is literally all the characters are in it.
Yeah.
And the 2019 proposal,
Yeah.
the end of that,
Yes.
was
Yes.
also just to tantalise and get everybody back where they needed to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Important.
Have you seen any? You've done some ADR.
I've
haven't
gone
you?
and done some
Have you done
ADR,
any?
so I've
I have
seen
done
some
some
of it.
ADR,
Oh
yes,
my
so I've seen a
gosh.
little bit, yes.
How much have you seen?
Not very much at all.
I was there. Have you seen any of it?
Well, I was told I was going to do ADR, and then it didn't happen. So, I mean,
Are
some
you
of us
just
just get it
perfect?
right first time
Well,
on set. I think,
absolutely. You're
don't we?
obviously
Yeah,
a true
so,
pro, you know, Rob.
Yeah.
There we go.
But you must have done quite a bit.
I got to see quite a lot.
Sorry,
Was I that bad on it?
really rude. Yes.
You would
Because
have
our sound production is so
to
terrible.
salvage the production.
Yeah. No, just simply because you're, a title character.
Well,
Yes.
I got to see
In
quite
the
a bit
you
show.
are,
of it.
Stacey.
Did you?
But it was funny, right? Because I'm in it and I know what happens in it and stuff, but still the bits that I got to see, I was really engrossed in it. I was
That's
really,
amazing.
really in it. Yeah. So I can't wait to see
I
the
don't
rest
think
of
you
it now.
realise what this is like for me.
Really?
I can't wait to watch it. And the whole
But
country.
but we're
We
all
can't
in
wait.
the same boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even though we kind of know what happens and we read the script and everything, well, some of us.
I wrote my bits.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think we're all wanting to see, because there were lots of bits that we weren't involved in when we
Yeah.
shot them, and you have in your head this whole idea of how they're going to be shot and how funny and wonderful they're going to be. So, I'm desperate to see it.
Adrian, when you first started, because you've done so much, you've won Olivier Awards, you've been at the National for millions of plays, you've done period dramas, and you've done so much, and you're so amazing. When you got the part of Pete, did you, when you first read it, knew it was going to be such a hit? Did you know where it was going to go?
I was doing, we were doing the History Boys film, and James and I, there was a BFI premiere one night, and James and I were just talking. I said to him, "What are you going to be doing next?" And he said, "Well, me and Ruth Jones have written this thing." And he said, "How's your Welsh accent?" And I just went, "It's terrible." And he went, "Oh, well, you're out of it then." So I kind of went, and I just sort of took that as, and then 6 scripts came through my letterbox, and he just sort of said, Chris Gernon's directing it, and I believe you know her, because I did a thing with French and Saunders that Chris Gernon directed. So these scripts arrived, and I remember reading the first one, because I'd got a bit of time in the afternoon, and I just sort of leafed through it and kind of got to the end of it and kind of went, not bad, that is really, really good. And thought, I'll just have a look at the second. It'll all fall apart in the second, because it always does. You read the first one and it's really brilliant, and they've all spent lots of time on that, and then you get to the second episode and it's dreary rubbish. And it was brilliant. And I literally just worked my way through all 6 scripts and just kind of went, this is a phenomenal piece of work, and a really, really beautiful, funny, sensitive, fabulous cornucopia of characters that you just want to spend time with. And so it was proved.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
so
Just
beautiful.
thinking about all of the moments with Pete and Dawn, and just in the first series, where you captain, is it Mark Overmars? Overmars.
Yeah.
Just amazing. So good.
You want to have it off.
Yeah.
It's so silly,
it
but what I love about Pete and Dawn are the layers. And it's the same for all
Yeah.
characters, and that's what you were saying. There's so many layers to every character.
They're not just a bickering couple.
No,
when
they're
you come back, you
not.
never know quite where they're going to be in their relationship. Are they
exactly.
happy? Because they do. They do.
They adore
love
each
they
other.
Can't,
They do. They can't be
but
without
it's
one
like,
Yeah.
it's like a kind
absolutely.
of, they can't
Yeah.
be without each other.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and
wonderfully
even
done.
even the abuse It's
It's
kind
part
of,
of
you know,
it, yeah.
they get off on it a bit.
Because we were talking about this. You've been rewatching it, haven't you?
Yes,
Because I've been
with
rewatching it
Eva.
with our daughter. We think is now old enough to watch it. And yeah, it's just because I hadn't seen some of it for a long time, and it's just
I mean, what
all
about
that
we were
stuff,
talking
the
earlier about the
incredible-
ring when you
Ah,
knew
the
your
Pete,
vows?
yeah,
Do you
Pete and
remember us
Dawn.
filming that and we could barely get through it
Oh, I
because
mean,
we
it was
laughed
hopeless.
so much.
But I remember reading it and going, "Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. We're never going to get to the end of this."
God.
Yeah,
just
and
laughed all
so
the
that
way
proved
through.
as well because
Yeah.
it was a terrible day. But also, it's that terrible thing, isn't it, where everywhere you look, you've got people desperately trying
Try
not
not
to
to
laugh, while Julia's going through her
reading the lyrics of Ben.
reading the lyrics of Ben.
Oh.
And then
Goodness
knowing
me.
at the end of it that the ring's going to come out and she's going to explode, which
Oh my God.
Brilliant. And the
very
moment
silly.
I have to say I was watching it in the car on the way here again, but the moment in the kitchen when the row starts where the Welsh guys have come up, they're on Dave's coach, they've come off, you know,
yeah.
and Gavin announces that he's got his job in Cardiff, and Pam starts on Stacey, and you just smash
What's so
Dave
fab is that
coach.
it's in the
It's
background, isn't
absolutely
it?
Yeah,
You
it's
just
kind
don't-
of
Yes,
you
you
just
don't know
kind of
it's
happens.
coming.
And Dave calls you Scrappy Doo.
That's right.
How did you do that? Was a stunt man in, or did you just go, right, we'll work it out ourselves?
CGI, isn't it?
just
The
hit
CGI,
him.
didn't it?
He's a tough Welshman, that boy.
He can take it.
He knows it. Yeah, he's been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful fun.
Was there a lot of
Wonderful fun.
improvisation within it, or was it all scripted?
No, we don't, because their scripts are so good. You don't need
No.
to. We have. What's unusual is we have rehearsals, which a lot of shows don't have time for rehearsal, but we always have like a week's rehearsal, don't we?
Mm.
And sometimes you throw a little bit in, and James and Ruth go, "Oh, I like that," or they maybe but they're so good. You can tell. We were saying this downstairs. You can tell they act it out themselves,
Yes.
and
I
they
always-
know the
yeah.
characters so well. And you go because sometimes you get scripts. I'm just paraphrasing, and you go, "I don't think anyone said this out loud. Nobody talks like that."
Mm.
Or you have the thing as, "Oh, my character wouldn't say that." Well, you never have that in Gavin and Stacey because
Yeah.
they've done it. They've sat around the kitchen table and acted it
They've
out.
got
What
certain
joy. And
characters
it's so
that they
good.
play, though, haven't they? Because James mostly does the women, doesn't he? And in rehearsals for this
Right.
one, there was one. There was one
good,
particular
careful.
woman that
Yeah.
he was doing, and he was just brilliant. He's just great at doing all of the women, and I think he always does me because it's very funny when you hear him doing me. And then I think Ruth does the men, but they've got their own people that they do.
That's very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a secret? It's not about me, but I've got one tiny link to Gavin and Stacey. I auditioned for the part of Smithy's sister,
You could have been Rudy.
Rudy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all
I'd
I've
like
got.
to see that version.
But that's a
though.
really juicy bit of
Yeah.
goss.
I'd like to see that version.
You've kept that under wraps very well.
I told you, didn't I,
Yes,
Joe?
you told me.
But I've
Yeah.
not said it out loud, but
No.
I did. I went up Oxford Street into Baby Cow, did all my read with James, and didn't go to plan, unfortunately. But yeah.
Well, that's
Nearly
the actor's
there,
life,
you know.
isn't it?
Nearly there.
There's so
Nearly there.
many,
So
so
often the
many
way,
kind
isn't
of
Yeah.
things we could have been in.
Yeah.
I always have a little bit
Yeah.
of a chip on my shoulder and tend to not watch the program afterwards. I don't want.
How
If they
did
didn't want me in it, I'm not going to watch it.
how did you get the part of Jason then? What happened there?
I knew James. I worked with James on a film. We did a little bit on a Mike Leigh film together, and we had we got on really well. And we just laughing and messing about, and James said, I've got an idea for something, and we used to write a little bit together, but nothing ever really came of it. But while we were doing that, he would tell me about the show he was writing with Ruth, and I just said, that sounds like a great idea. And then he said, well, there's a part in it we'd like you to come in for. It's Stacey's brother, but the only problem is Joe Page is playing Stacey. Well, I know Joe. 'Cause me and Joe go back a long way.
We've known each other since we were
about
17.
Well, I was going to say, why did he say the only problem is?
Well, not the only problem. The problem is I'm about a foot taller than Joe Page.
Right.
I don't look anything like her. I've got dark hair. So, brother and sister, physically,
siblings can be different.
that was the only problem.
But we've
It
known
wasn't a
each
problem.
other.
It's like, it's Joe
Yeah.
Page, she's a nightmare. I went, oh, God, no.
Absolutely
I said,
not. I don't
absolutely
work
not.
with
That's a
that.
red line.
The National Youth Theatre of Wales together, and then we were in drama
Drama
school
school
together
together.
in the same class.
We all got a little bit emotional, weren't we, that we've been acting together, about
Yes.
over 30 years?
My God,
Wow.
yes.
Yeah. But then, so he said, so we'd like to read for the brother, but also, just as a kind of safety, could you read the smaller part of like a ticket inspector, I think it was, the one who tells them off at the station?
Yes.
So I said, yeah, because I'll do anything, you know. So I went in and I read both. And then about a week later, James rang and he said, I'm really sorry, mate. I know you really, really wanted to play the ticket inspector, but we're going to have to offer you Jason. In true James way, he wound me up a bit. And yeah, I think they decided that I didn't have to be blonde and a foot shorter.
DNA works in a very
Yeah, I'm the
interesting way
tallest one in my
sometimes,
family
doesn't it?
by quite a long way. So I think,
absolutely. You can get all
Yeah.
shapes
Did you
and
know
sizes.
at that time how, much the whole fishing trip and all of that plot line and how much Jason would feature in the series?
No, I mean, I kind of thought, I knew I loved it and I thought that's really funny and really, really funny to play and all those scenes with Rob. But I almost thought, is that it? Am I, when they said there was going to be a second series, will I be back? And the fact that I've just kept coming back is just lovely. And the fact that the whole thing has snowballed and ballooned and everyone just is desperate to know.
Everyone's like, oh
Desperate to know what
yeah.
happens.
Have you ever been told what happens on the fishing trip? Have they ever said to you?
No.
Have you got your own thoughts in your mind about what it could be?
You must have your own thoughts.
I do have my own thoughts, yeah, but I can't say what they are.
Have you ever talked about them with Rob?
Not really, no. Because when people ask, I do have to say, the whole joke is you don't find out what happens on the fishing trip. And people are getting excited about this last...
except on the Christmas special, of course, that's coming up.
We can't say anything about...
You
and now
might
I've already
find out. Who knows?
Yeah, I already got a little bit into trouble. Well, not into trouble. I did an interview with the Radio Times and I was trying to skirt around it and not say anything. And then they wrote the headline, Gavin and Stacey star teases fishing trip reveal. And I said, I absolutely did not
do that.
tease.
Of course.
So right now, where's the camera? I'm not teasing a reveal of anything. Watch it and see what happens.
Didn't you film something about the fishing trip once? Because I remember that a couple of series ago, and you filmed a bit or something, and they never showed it, did they?
Yeah, we did film like a flashback of
There is
parts.
footage.
There's
There is
footage of the
Yes,
fishing
I
trip.
love
I wonder
this.
if it'll ever come out.
Yeah.
Great.
But they couldn't use it. It was Chris. No, not because Chris rang me and just said it was meant to be in the last episode of the last original series, and she just rang me and said it's running 40 minutes too long. I'm sorry, we just got to cut it. And I was like, it's just sort of go. But yeah, we did do
what magic.
yeah. So there's stuff out there.
That's great. They might show it in your documentary as a bonus special or something.
I can't wait to see that. Yeah, because we've got the behind the scenes
Yeah,
documentary.
I
Yes,
can't
they were
wait for
there.
that.
Slightly worried about that.
Are you?
Well, no, just because.
Well, good.
Not
I'm
worried,
just
just-
crying
Why
all
is
the way through it,
Adrian's got a twinkle in his eye?
Yeah,
No,
you
I'm
do.
just
Why do
interested
you?
to know. Well, because you never know. I mean, with a scripted thing, obviously you kind of know what's coming and what the chances are of the things you might see in it. But this, I mean, it could
They
be
were there a
anything.
lot,
They
weren't
were
they?
there the whole
time.
I mean, it was sort of through,
No escaping.
It was like keyhole surgery most
Yeah.
days, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were just
Suddenly you'd
there.
be chatting
Got a
and then you
camera.
look over and you'd be like, oh God, they're there.
Oh, it's
I
like
know.
Big
Somewhere
Brother.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I'm
So it's
probably
very
gonna be
difficult to
crying
know
all the
what
way
they
through.
caught and what,
Yeah.
God,
what-
yeah.
silly giddiness we were getting up to.
I think I'm probably completely hysterical because on the first day I got out of the car and then saw Sophie straight away and sort of started jumping, going, and just screaming like an idiot. And I know they filmed that. And then me just crying then. So it's,
You were crying a lot, weren't you?
I cried a lot.
Oh, I
did
cried
you
a
two
lot.
cry?
Yeah.
When did you cry?
Well, I cried a lot in my hotel room at the end of the night. You
But that's
know.
no different from
That's
a usual job.
That's
for you,
most
is it?
days me. No, I did. I found some of it incredibly moving.
Yeah.
Terribly moving. It was the ticking off of it'll be the last time we're there.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
the last
the
time we're
last
at
time
the
you're in that
location.
set.
The last time
The
on
last
Trinity
time.
Street.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, the
Oh,
last time
I
on
mean-
Trinity Street when we left our
Yeah.
house.
Well, somebody
Yeah.
sent me some. I think it was Gernon sent me some footage of that moment with you walking up.
With the bloody
I
sun
was
setting in the
blubbing
background as
into
Yeah, it
well.
was
my
perfect.
And it
tea
just
in the
went
morning.
viral.
Oh my God.
The last day we all cried, didn't we? Yeah.
We
I think
did.
everyone cried on the last day.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Do you really think it is the last? It could in 10 years' time. Do you think there could be?
I like what they put at the end of the script. They put the end
Yes.
forever and ever. Amen.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, they really did.
Right.
But also, I think it's really, really brave to finish things. Because often I just think things go on a little bit too long or a
agree.
bit. And I think with this, the best thing that they could have done is just kind of gone, we've got an ending. Let's
Yeah.
it's really good. Endings are good. Moving on. And moving on to new projects, which of course hopefully will all be in.
What a
Yeah. I'm too sentimental. I'd be like, I'd flog that horse until it was well dead because I just want to have a laugh with everyone.
Yeah.
Which has got like.
Wouldn't it be great though if they wrote another show which we'd all in but all playing different characters?
I know.
Well, Ricky
wouldn't
Gervais
be
does that with a lot
fun?
of his stuff.
True.
Uses all the same people.
We could be husband and wife instead of brother and sister.
I
this
know,
time.
that would be funny. Last time we played like lovers, we were in drama school and you were chasing me and jumping over a bed after me. No, I was doing it to you with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, you were trying to kill me with a pair of scissors.
Yeah. Were you surprised when you got the call saying that we were doing a special?
Yeah. The original was, but both.
Yeah,
I've
for
been
this
a complete-
latest one now, were you expecting it when the call came in? You know, saying that
I
we're
always
going to
thought
do...
one day we would, but it was still... Well,
It's
maybe
all-
we
yeah, it's
wouldn't.
still
Maybe we
shocking,
wouldn't.
isn't it?
Maybe they are going to leave it like that, and why not?
Every time I see their names come up on my phone, I immediately kind of go, aye.
Yeah.
Is this the moment?
Yes.
Come on,
Yes, yeah.
please.
Where were you when you got the message and everything?
I was at home.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I had to really stop myself from whooping
Yeah.
because I thought it was, best to be professional and serious. And then after Ruth, because it was Ruth who phoned me, and after she'd gone, I just went, Rose, we're on!
Oh, that's so
I'd shown her who was calling on my phone. Yeah. I just bellowed up the stairs. I was so excited.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah. What about you?
I was,
When did you get it?
well, I was having dinner with the family, and my eldest daughter was with us as well, and and I just went, bloody hell, it's James. What do you think it is? I went in the room, come back in, and I said, you rat. And they were all just like looking at me like that. And I was like, you can't tell anyone. You can't tell anyone. Oh, and then we had that whole thing with it leaking, and we had to lie.
Yes.
Because it was still very early
Yes,
days.
I
It was
remember
early
that.
days. And
Where were you?
Well,
yeah, where were you?
Yes, where were
I had
you?
tonsillitis and I was running a bath. And I just run the bath
Why is that
and I
funny?
walked out of the bathroom, walked back in again, picked my phone up and it said James Corden missed call. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. Oh my God, we're gonna do a special. We're gonna do it. And then I phoned him back and said, I've got tonsillitis. And then he said, oh, have you heard of the actress Ruth Jones? Are you aware of her work? Would you like to be in more of it? And I was like, oh my God, yes, and screamed. And then we had to just like keep it quiet then for going on about a flipping year or something.
It was a
didn't
long
we?
time,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it leaked, and I was just, all my family would go, oh, is it going to happen? And I just basically lied to them because I didn't trust them to keep their mouth shut.
Yes. If, like us, you love chatting about all things on and off the telly, whether it's the latest releases or comforting classics, no telly is out of bounds.
Then listen to all episodes of our podcast, Off the Telly, on BBC Sounds. Can we please hear about your favourite scenes, be it the ones that you were in and your favourite ones to film, and when you're watching the telly as a viewer, your favourite as well? Jo, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think one of my favourite scenes was when you and Dawn renewed your vows, because I just hysterically laughed all the way through. I think all of my favourite scenes are when I am just laughing all the time. I think out and out, my most favourite bit ever was the stripper. And I feel like I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it seems like it's all I've ever talked about. But it was such an experience. I turned up on set and I remember all of the crew were there. And I just remember James Corden was just off camera. And then Chris, the director, said, oh, let's just do a run through of what you normally would do. And he did. He took everything off. Then I was sitting on the chair and he was there. And I just remember the camera crew, they were just full on shaking. And it was just, I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. I went hysterical.
I hope you told him.
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
So to me, my most favourite ever bit was the stripper. And I think the whole of the first series to me was my favourite because it's when we all first started and there was all this chemistry and we all first met and we all just gelled. So that I think that's my favourite bit. What about yours?
Isn't that interesting? Because one of my big fave moments is the scene between you and Gav when you, in the 2019 special, when you go back to the island.
Yes.
And I think that scene is so beautifully crafted and written, and it's about two people who are look, I'm welling up now.
Yeah.
But they're both in a marriage, and they're worried about it getting stale, and they're so communicative one another. They talk it through. It's the best kind of talking advert for talking therapy. It's so beautiful, and the kiss never fails to make the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. Yeah. And then it pulls away. Do you remember that lovely big shot at the end with all the fabulous street lighting and the Christmas lights? And it gets me absolutely every single time. I think it's the most beautiful scene.
I remember me and Matt were quite worried about it because we did it. It was the first day. It was the first day of like the whole shoot. And we were like flipping out. We're going in on a big one here.
Yeah.
And so we were both quite nervous about, getting it right. And it was so late, when we started filming. And but it just worked. It just happened and it just worked. And I remember being a bit concerned, thinking, I've had 3 children in real life now and I've got to jump up and leap into his arms. It's not quite the same as the first series. But we were all right. I just said, all right? And he was. But oh my gosh, it was a lovely scene.
It was a lovely scene.
It is lovely, that moment.
Yeah. What about yours?
It's really hard to pick a favourite bit, but I always love the, in inverted commas, like the mundane chats where they talk about like the favourite motorway services and Pete with his oven gloves.
I love the oven
gloves.
Just
the little details like that. I just love.
Now,
I'm
so sorry. I've got to ask while we're on oven gloves. Was it Chris who directed you to do that 3 times, or did you go back and forth yourself?
It said in the script.
Did it really?
It said in the script.
Sorry, I have to
they
ask.
always know.
He puts it in the oven, he takes it out again, he puts it back in the oven and tries them out. That kind of thing.
Sorry.
It was
Continue.
all there,
Incredible.
absolutely beautiful.
This is the magic I need to know about.
Yeah.
And one of my favourite to film may have been entering into the barn dance.
Oh, yes.
It's just a little moment, but it's just you don't get many entrances like that really in your life, just to kind of come in and everyone stops and looks at you.
Yeah.
And I just, again, we've been rewatching. I just watched that one again. There's so much going on in that one with Doris and Bryn getting, you're having a barn dance. Just Rob is just sublime in that episode.
Oh God, it's so much fun, isn't it?
Oh,
I remember being gutted.
It's a pair of denim jeans, Mick. Just lines like that, the little details. I love it.
Did you enjoy wearing the red Y fronts?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing another interview the other day, we described it as like my pants era because I did that. I did an advert where I was in my pants, and I did another show called I was in a couple of episodes of the first series of Skins. Do you remember that on Channel 4? And I had to do quite a lot of an episode of that in my pants as well. And it was all within about the same.
You did a swimming trunks advert.
No, it wasn't
down a slide.
Yeah, it wasn't for swimming trunks. You may remember the trunks. It was for. I won't say the product, but it was the introduction of like contactless cards.
Things. Right.
And it was for a particular brand of contactless card. And I was going down a big water slide, and it was a big hit at the time.
Yeah.
God.
Your pant era.
Yeah, my pants era. Yeah, that was fun filming that with Rob in my pants.
Every entrance you've had though, every time.
Well,
Jason
that's the classic
comes
thing.
into
It's
us,
kind of
always like boom.
Kills it stone dead to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And how about, Adrian, your favourite to film with you in it?
Well, I think, the renewal of the vows was pretty good. Interestingly, oven gloves is one of those moments that always sticks with me. I think that's great. But the curry as well, the whole kind of, you're eyeing up my booners.
Yeah.
I just think it's just so sublimely brilliant. But it's so true as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think everybody who saw it kind of saw something in it that they knew. Well, everybody wanted their own meal.
Yeah.
It made me really hungry watching it again recently. Yeah. And all that phoning back and forth in the car. Sagaloo, all that.
Yeah.
And I loved filming, again, just another one where we're talking about how much Bryn loves Deal or No Deal. And it's just... Why are we talking about that? But it's so funny.
It is so true. And the card, John.
Oh yeah,
John with the glasses.
Stepbrother John.
Stepbrother
John. Rotary
it's
John.
From John. And when Pete comes in at the end and says, he's been to Nepal 3 times. Everyone says the same thing. But it is real life.
Big up for Mel as well, doing this, listening to Bryn singing.
Oh my God.
In the Picasso as they're driving down.
Yeah. And you can see, that just reminds me of my mum and dad. Like when they used to leave me, at drama school and stuff up in London and then drive back home. And I think my mum would sit there in silence, sort of, crying. And then my dad would be like talking away, going, she's going to be absolutely fine now and she's going to be whatever. And mum would just be sitting there and you can just see it on Mel's face, can't you?
Holding on. Yeah.
And Doris. I mean, that's a classic scene. One of my
gosh,
favourites.
When Maddie was on the drums, do you remember? filming
I wasn't there for that day.
Were you not there for that one?
I'd never had any scenes with Maggie, and it's
Did
a
you
big.
not?
I'd worked with Maggie on one of my first ever jobs out of Telly, and she was so lovely, and I was so great to see her in this. I think maybe at the wedding we had a little chat.
Yeah,
but I never had like a Doris scene, which is always one of my biggest regrets because she's just sublime in it.
Oh my God, when she did the drums and we had Ted, remember Ted Dowd? And Maggie couldn't sort of get the timing and she was ever so nervous as well, I remember. And then Rob was standing there really going for it, singing and wanting like himself as well to be good, didn't he? And then Ted Dowd, the producer, was just lying on the floor behind the pew and having to put this big pen up in the air like that every time Maggie had to bang on the drum. So the pen would go up, there'd be a slight beat, and then she'd like bang it. So she ended up just being out of tune.
I still don't think she's quite right on the final copy.
But it sort of worked better with
Yeah,
it
it's
being
funny,
hopelessly off, didn't it?
Yeah.
But completely confident.
Oh my God, are you going to
So
miss
good.
it? Now it's all over. Are you going to miss filming it?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we all realised how special it was while we were doing it. But
It's
I
not good
thought we'd
for one's
finished.
health, though.
No.
5 weeks in a hotel in Cardiff
Yeah, it's quite
with
a lot.
Alison Steadman and the size of gins that she pours. Blimey.
Oh, it does she? She'd be a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go to that bar.
It was called like Ali's Parlour, wasn't it? Ali's Parlour. It ended up being called.
My blinking bar bill at the end of it. I mean, my God, I was shocked.
Always a problem,
I
isn't it? The pretend bill that you forget about. Just put it on the room.
Put it on the room. Put it on the room.
I was in a supermarket the other day, and on the shelf, I spotted a book, and I thought, I need to get it, and we need to do it, I'm afraid. It's the Gavin and Stacey quiz book.
Whoa, okay.
That sent a chill through me.
Well, there's no pressure. It's not
Oh,
mastermind,
no pressure.
Adrian. It's not mastermind.
Just a bit of fun.
Just a bit of fun. Bit of Christmas fun.
Okay.
Is it whoever gets the answer first? Because I'm very competitive.
Oh, no, we're not doing what all you're very competitive, Joe.
I am.
There's
Am I
no
staying out of
prize
this
here.
one? Is it just the boys?
You can join in.
No, you can join in. Just don't shout over people.
Okay.
You're very competitive. She's a nightmare, isn't she? I don't know how you've put up with her for all these years. Right, here we go. Nice, easy one to start. What is Nessa's full name?
Vanessa Shanessa Jenkins, I believe.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't think there's any more than that, is
No,
there?
I think so.
Vanessa
Shanessa
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
In the 2008 Christmas special, what does Smithy think the co-writer of Do They Know It's Christmas is called?
Oh, God.
I know this because, again, I've been watching it recently.
Oh.
Do you know this one, Adrian? Mature.
Oh,
Mature, like mature cheddar. Mature, he thinks is one word, isn't it? Mature.
When he's
like
on the
mature
phone to
cheddar.
Gav.
Yeah.
Very good. Even that's brilliant.
Yeah.
The joy
Yeah.
of Christmas, because I'm a very big Christmas person. And that the ringing up of... I have
Singing,
a niece who I ring up and shout down the phone. I genuinely do, or we all sing a song to each other because we're so excited.
I
They
love
really
that first
have.
Christmas. I think that's possibly my favourite filming experience of the whole thing. I just love doing that Christmas special.
Yeah.
Because it was so Christmassy and warm,
Yes.
funny, and just... Anyway, sorry, Karen.
No,
No,
don't.
carry
That's
on.
why we're
I
here.
digress.
Yeah.
What's Pam's splendid description of Gwen's flannel?
Do you know
I
this?
think I know that one as well.
Well, I've got an
It's
A, B, and
gotta be
C, but let's
hard,
see if
isn't
you
it?
know it.
Oh, go on, you have a
Yeah,
go.
go on.
I'm very
I mean, I've
impressed.
said, did she say I could have cracked it with a toffee hammer?
Yes, she
Wow.
did.
I just remember that as a great line at the time. I think I'd remember that even if we hadn't been rewatching.
Amazing.
Because it's a great line.
Rob gets the prize.
Well
I do
done.
get a prize. Do
You
I
can
get a
have another
prize?
chocolate.
You
I can have another chocolate. Okay.
Yeah.
I was promised Bailey's, I think. We're not allowed to say that. I was promised a
Irish cream liqueur.
Irish cream liqueur.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not mint flavoured.
not mint.
Can I
flavoured.
just thank
I'm surprised
you
they
all?
haven't brought that back for this one.
I know.
Sorry, Karen.
No, not at all. Can I just thank you all? And I know every listener listening to this now, we've had so many voice notes since we started about Gavin and Stacey every single week.
Oh.
You've brought so much joy to people's lives, and people are so excited, including me, and I really mean that. Thank you for all of the series, for all of the specials. It is amazing what you achieved, and it's amazing to sit here with you all. Thank you.
It's lovely to get the opportunity to talk about it.
It is.
We
isn't
never
it?
ever stop loving talking about it because we're as in love with it as everybody else.
I feel particularly now with this special, I feel like an audience member, because I think after the last one finished, I remember reading it on my phone and them getting to the proposal and me going, what? My God, that's not the end. What's and then waiting so long and then getting the script in for this. And I know that we filmed it and we know what happens and we've read it, but still, I feel sort of kind of away from it a bit, and I am just going to sit down with my family on Christmas Day, and I just can't wait to watch it. It's a special,
especially having rewatched it all the way through, like we've been doing.
So, as we are a telly pod, what sort of things do you two like to watch at Christmas time on the TV?
Well, I go away a lot at Christmas, so sometimes I find myself in strange countries watching the oddest and most peculiar things. I once watched the film Vera Drake, which I'm actually in, which I wouldn't normally do, but I'd been dubbed.
Oh, brilliant.
And it was just such a treat to watch it in Mexican. And it really, really made me laugh. But yes, generally speaking, I'm a great one just for sitting down in front of a children's movie. Give me Mary Poppins or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I could sit and watch those films again, forever. Forever. They're just joyous.
I love
wonderful.
Oliver.
Yeah.
What about you, Rob?
We do. No, did I read that you like this as well, Joe? We watched the Box of Delights.
Oh my God, I never knew you like that.
Here we go.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed
Have you already?
with it.
If you've covered this already, we'll be brief.
You blink and talk
mention
about
it every week.
I love it, right? And have you seen that the BBC
They're showing it again? So get on the iPlayer and watch it.
Yeah,
it's
what
just
about
amazing.
Oh my God, the opening credits.
Every time shivers.
Oh, I need to watch this.
Have you seen it?
Oh,
Oh my God, it's
It's
brilliant. Robert
you've covered
Stevens,
it.
Absolutely terrifying. So you watch it as well? do you?
Yeah, we bought it on DVD, and I don't really remember it as a child, but it's become our family tradition. We watch it every Christmas, once a week.
Yes.
And there's this whole community. I'm on the Facebook group. And they were saying Joe Page is a fan, and I said, I'm going to bring it up then.
Yeah.
Box of Delights. We need to get on to it.
It's on the iPlayer.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
And it's 40 years old now. It's from the 80s. Adaptation of a book. Amazing cast, and it's absolutely bonkers as well. And the plot is just mad.
And you've got Robert Stevens playing the baddie in it, and he's basically acting like he's Macbeth or someone.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's like chewing the scenery, but in the best way. He's incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And the best child performance, I think, by Kay, one of the best kids' performances on TV.
Really? All right, we'll watch it.
Okay. That's my
Hot
one.
tip.
Well, thank you for talking about Gavin and Stacey today. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
Thank you. We could have gone on for a while, couldn't we, I think?
It's been an honour.
Well, we could do another hour just on the Box of Delights, to be honest. We need to
Should we
pick this up, yeah.
All right, Box of Delight special for next Christmas. Me and you.
Same time, same place.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
Merry Christmas.
And have a wonderful time.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, that was so lovely chatting with the boys,
It was
wasn't
so
it?
lovely to meet your friends and colleagues, Joe.
I love them so much, and it's really, really lovely, just all chatting. We've got such good memories, and it's not just going to be that. We also have another one of my bestest friends that we're going to chat to. It is the absolutely glorious Chris Gernon, who is the director of all of Gavin and Stacey. So we're going to be talking to her next.
I can't wait to ask her some questions. I really can't. What
I
an
feel like I
absolute
can't
honour.
even act normal though, because they're all my friends, and I'm just so gushing and excited. I just want to go, it's Christmas.
It's going to be so lovely to meet Chris over Zoom, because you've mentioned Chris so many times throughout our chats about the things you've done with her and what she used to say and, what you used to get up to. So I can't wait to meet her.
And we're going to actually have to Zoom Chris in, because she is in the edit right now. It's really funny because like a good few weeks have gone by, and so I'm back in family life and everything. But since we last finished, we had the wrap party and everything, Chris every single day has just been in the edit and doing it all and sorting it all out and then doing the ADR. She hasn't left it yet.
Amazing.
She's
Chopping it all up and making it brilliant for us to watch.
I think she'll be sick to death of seeing my face though.
Can I just say, I listened, not the latest one, the one before on my way in today, and I still haven't stopped chuckling at you confusing Thomas Cromwell and Oliver Cromwell whilst watching the show.
I think it is the most Joe Page story.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how you do the podcasting anatomy.
Well,
At one point, right, when we were doing the podcast, she said something Thomas Cromwell, and in my head I thought, she said the wrong name, but I'm not going to say anything. thank you so much for chatting to us today, Chris.
It's an honour to have you. Thank you so much for being here.
You look like you're in a small cupboard.
I'm in a small cupboard. I've just jumped out of a mix and I'm in a small cupboard to come and chat to you because I love your podcast.
Oh, that's
love
so
you, Joe.
lovely.
And I'm sure if I knew you, Natalie, I would love it. And obviously one day when we're doing a sitcom together, the three of us.
Well, let's hope so.
Yes, definitely. So are you still in the mix then for Gavin and Stacey?
I'm in the mix for Gavin and Stacey, which I finish tomorrow. So tomorrow, I don't know what time, 7, 8, it will all be done and dusted.
Wow.
Going off, ready to be broadcast on Christmas Day.
How does that feel, Chris, getting to the end of it?
You know, it feels really good. It feels, I think it's so nice and so unusual to have an opportunity to sort of finish something and finish it so well. I think it's a really brilliant end to the show. And I think, particularly if you're a fan of the show, I think you'll be very happy with this. You know, we're not happy with necessarily with what happens, which obviously I am not going to go into, but more like everybody has very Gavin and Stacey things in it, I think. That's better.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I loved it because in it, Stacey and Gavin are kind of, because I mean, this has been said, you know, before in the stuff, you know, that's for the Christmas listings, but they're sort of, you know, trying to pep up their, you know, marriage a little bit. And it was really good fun because I felt very much like Stacey was back to sort of kind of series 1 Stacey.
Really?
Yeah, it was good fun. And
talking about cracking 3 out, watching Cash in the Attic. That's Stacey.
Do you remember that?
I do. The building. Do you know what? It's so interesting. Oh, someone might be coming to say hello.
Oh my God! Hello, James.
Hey.
How are you?
Very
Hi,
good. How are you
James.
doing? Hey, Nat, how are you?
All right, how are you, darling?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I was only telling Adrian Scarborough earlier and Rob how I nearly got to play Rudy. Do you remember that, James?
No, you were there. Well, you were the person we were thinking about. Well, I remember chatting to you on the phone about it.
I know.
You've been amazing.
That's all right. Next sitcom, yeah?
Well, let's wait. People might hate this one first. We don't know. So
They bloody won't. We can't wait for it. We're all desperate to see it. Desperate.
Oh, look, that's better. Look,
that's
have
good.
that light on.
We
You're
can see it.
I'm all direct. You've been sitting there on the top. I've tapped one button. And look at that. That's the toy.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing really well and I'm really excited about coming to the screening. I can't wait to see it. Chris was saying literally just earlier on about me coming in to do some ADR and what was I like?
Well,
Chris?
she basically made me play her like half of the show, even though we're clearly on a deadline, and then cried through most of it.
Yes.
Sounds
yeah.
about right.
bad, isn't
yeah.
it? That plane crash.
So
I know. It's so it's the shock of what
Well, it was
happens.
Bryn flying that bloody plane.
Why did Bryn get his pilot's license?
Not sure. Yeah.
Are you fed up of watching all of the show now? Are you looking forward to just going, right, boom, that's it now, and we can hand it in?
I don't think it's that you get fed up with it. It's just, well, what you start to worry is because you have moments where you've been laughing and then you're in a room and no one's laughing. And the reason no one's laughing is because everybody's seen it about 35 times. So then you start going, oh no, is it just not funny in any way? Because someone might laugh at one bit and you go, well, if they laughed at that, why didn't they? And it's just a lot of, but it's okay because Chris is here. So if Chris is there, everything's all right. That's the truth. That is the actual truth of all of it. It is.
Yeah.
I love this exposed brick.
Oh, yes. Do you like, this is the first time that we've been like filmed, isn't it?
Yeah, we've gone posh for this one.
Yeah.
You
Do you
see.
like,
I
we've
love
got
it.
some makeup on.
Got you in, James.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm wearing a dress and we've put some makeup on. We've
You
made an
both
effort.
look sensational.
Oh, thank you very
French.
much.
Now that we've got you, can we just ask you what has been your favourite bit to film in all of the 3 series, all of the previous Gavin and Stacey? What's been your favourite moment?
Oh, God.
That's a hard one, isn't it?
I really love, well, I just love, as you know, I just love filming a pan mix because there's always a comfortable chair. There's always somewhere comfy to sit. So when we're at Pam and Mix, I love that.
The
But-
very first scene, not the very first scene, the very first episode in the hotel room, you actually fell asleep. You are asleep. He's asleep when he's in the hotel room, asleep and wake in the bed.
Yeah.
He's genuinely asleep.
That was
He
fun.
did. Yeah.
And do you want to know the actual? Should I tell you about genuinely? My favourite moments when we're filming. I'm not just saying this because she's here and you're entering it. My favourite moments when we're filming are the days when I'm not in, but I get to sit with Chris, and you just get to sit and watch and all those things. I've learned so much in those days, and I think if I had to pick a scene that I'm in, I really loved the scene when we were all dancing around to Madness.
Yeah.
Yes.
That felt
Yeah.
that felt really, really fun.
When we were editing, I remember when we were editing that series, and Liana, the editor, and I would sometimes be like, so, oh God, like we'd be figuring out something, and then we'd look at each other and we go, so we just put it on, and we would literally just play the House of Fun scene and watch it, and then get back to trying to edit around some of Joanna Page's continuity.
I didn't get to do any of that dancing or anything, did I? Because I think
No.
Stacey was
You were in
I
a
think-
buff.
yeah, I was in a huff, wasn't I? Because I'd gone upstairs to
Yes.
wait for Gav to have sex, and he'd fallen asleep, hadn't he? Yeah.
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 You know, all of that, all of the Madness stuff, did you just improvise all of that then? Or had you written in the script the bits and bobs, or did you just come up with that?
No, we'd written that we're all dancing around, but we hadn't written things like Mick and Nessa have
No.
switched
No.
tops, which I thought was really funny.
But those are the scenes also as a director that are so brilliant, because I don't have to do anything. I read it and then I just go, there's all of them in the room. And you just go, okay, you've all had a drink, you're all dancing, off you go. And then someone will go, oh, should we switch top? And then you just kind of tweak
Well,
a
there's some of
few
that in
little
this.
things.
There's some of that in this new.
There
one.
is a
Some-
very
It's new
excellent
in the new
scene
one.
in this one, which
Right,
is
I'm going to
my
leave you to
favourite.
it. I think
Yeah.
so.
Right.
Love
Thank
it,
you,
gang.
James. Thank you
Thanks,
for everything.
James.
Bye.
See you
See you,
soon.
darling.
See ya.
Bye.
There you go. I thought that might be fun.
That is fun. Chris, while we're talking about those scenes,
Yes.
those big scenes, I wanted to ask you, how do you keep all of them under control?
That is a very good question.
How do you do it?
I mean, they're kind of pretty good. The main thing is they just, and it sounds such a cliche, but they all just love each other so much that sometimes it's just getting everyone to shut up.
Mm.
So there's generally a shut up, and sometimes I'll just start rolling the cameras and they're all just still chatting. And then you'll just go, right, come on, shut up and do it. But yeah, fun. I mean, everyone's professional, you know, so everyone kind of knows what they're doing. And because we rehearse lots of it,
Mm.
it's not like we're in the moment trying to figure stuff out. So we get in and then everyone's like, oh yeah, you're there. Okay, this is what we're doing, and go. And then off they all go. So it's, you know, it's
It
fun.
must be really lovely to have the rehearsal time, because that's a rarity these days, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always rehearse, so I don't, maybe it is a rarity, but when you've got 10, 12 people in the scene and you've got to figure out what they're all doing and where they all are in these tiny little houses we're in, well, Gwen's, but not Pam and Mick's, it's just invaluable. It's invaluable.
Yeah.
Because then everyone comes in and just, you know, knows where they all are and where they're going. And there's a scene in this Christmas one, and it's, you know, we just figured out all the choreography. So when we get in, everybody kind of knows where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember, will you tell us a bit about the scene that you had to try and film with Alison and
With Sophie.
Julia, with Patch Adams? Because talking about having control over us and trying to stop us laughing, tell us a bit about that.
It's the only time probably in the last 20 years that I have had to call a tea break. I literally
Really?
I called a crew tea break because they could not, Alison's Emma had to stay talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman and referring to him as the ginger fella from Patch Adams. Could not get it out. Her, Julia, and Adrian, and Larry Lamb, and Larry getting cross and cross. and me just like going, I mean, throwing all the things that you could possibly think of, like imagine you're on stage and there's an audience, you know, nothing, until I called a tea break, told them to go out and have a think about themselves. Oh my!
How long did it go on for?
Oh my
She just couldn't
God!
stop laughing, could she?
No, I mean it went on for a long time. I mean I don't call T-Rex lightly.
I remember I was at unit base and I was waiting, to be on for the next scene. And I was just messing around and having a laugh. And because about 2 hours went by or something. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah. It's gone down in the annals of, I think, is it on any sort of outtake? It's got
I think it is.
Oh, it's got to be,
It's gotta
surely.
be. It's got to be. I only ever remember you shouting at me once, and you shouted something like, Paige, stop laughing, because it was when Ruth was lying down, and I think she was about to be scanned or something, and I walk into, like, by her hospital bed thing, and I'm standing over her, and I just couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't look at her, and I couldn't stop laughing, and I remember you shouting at me then, but it's the only time you've ever shouted at me.
I remember, I mean, and it's obviously just all, but I do remember when you were dressed as schoolgirls, you and Rick, then you proper lost it that as well. And I think mainly because you were dressed as schoolgirls.
So, Chris, when you first picked up a Gavin and Stacey script, or was it 1? Was it 6? What was it? Series 1?
Well, what it was I was doing a show with Ruth, a different show, and she would tell me about this script that she was writing. And I'd be like, oh, great. And then she was like, oh, I'd love to send it you. Would you read it? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I'll not lie, a little bit of me was like, it's not, what's it going to be like? And then Ruth being Ruth sent me all 6 in like emails, so I remember getting up on a Saturday and going, I've just got to read, I'm just going to read a script. I'll be half an hour and then carry on with the day. And I sat down and I literally read all six episodes and then rang Ruth and just said, Vince, can I direct it? It was the best. They were the best. And they're pretty much the scripts we shot. I mean, they because they have such a strong sort of quality control over it. And then my lights come out. Where's James when I need him? There we go. Because they have such a quality control, and I think because they're actors, and when they write every scene, they'll act it out, so they hear it. So when I get it, what to me is a first draft, it's probably their like 4th or 5th draft, and then there's a few notes, things, but never a ton of notes. And then we very rarely change stuff, do we, Joe?
God, we hardly ever change anything.
Yeah, that's it. That is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so when you read those first 6, did you go, this is going to be special?
No,
you knew?
I've thought that before.
Right.
Because you never know. And I thought the scripts were great, and then the cast, you bring all the cast in, and they add some stuff. And I sort of remember, I think the first time was when we were filming the pub quiz, and it's the first time everybody was sort of together. I think it was one of the earliest things we filmed with everybody. And I remember sitting in the pub while we were shooting it, thinking I would love to be in this pub with these people doing this quiz. Oh, this might be something that people like, because I genuinely think it's a world that people would love to go enjoy.
Yeah.
You'd love nothing more, would you, than a night out with that.
Yeah.
So true.
I remember the rehearsals.
Yeah.
And I remember like everybody just proper gelling. The boys went off to go and get their ears pierced. I remember that. They came back the next day and we ran our ears pierced.
And they said to you that they were going to do it, or was it just something that they went off and just
They
said?
went off and went out and came back without thinking, we think they'll have their ears pierced. And everyone just hung out. It wasn't like people didn't want to leave, did they? Everyone got on so well. Yeah. It was a genuinely joyful thing, and it's always been stayed, and this last one was no different. It's just a load of people coming together and genuinely love hanging out with each other.
Yeah,
which is
when you're in the edit now, and obviously, like you say, if you finish tomorrow, hand it in. Do you understand the weight of it? I know you're all in it, but I don't think, I talked to Jo about this and she's like, oh yeah. I said, no, but you don't quite understand. I don't think you get it.
I honestly have never felt pressure like this. This one, I'm really feeling a pressure that before, never. And it's never really been that big. And even when we came back after the 10 years, it was a kind of, oh, this was fun. But we won't know, are people still going to watch it? Are people, interested? Whereas this one, because that one was so big, the expectation on this one.
How many million watched that? Because I can't remember. Was it over? Was it 11,
18?
12?
I think it was 18 million.
On the day, it was 11.
11, yeah.
And then it
on
went
the
up.
day.
Then it went up. Yeah, on the actual, like the overnights were 11 point something, and then it went up to 18. And I think it might have gone up to 20. I can't remember. I just remember those overnights were pretty epic.
And we don't get those now.
No.
Because we used to get, used to get 20 million for Christmas Day, EastEnders.
Yeah.
And now it's, much, much lower. But 11, when you did that, was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get that, if not more, again. And it just shows you the magic of special television.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I sort of feel like we probably aren't going to get those figures because I don't think people watch television like that, but who knows? I mean, I hope we do, but it's more because people catch up on stuff and
yeah.
But you'll be watching. That's the main thing.
I'm going to,
Oh, I certainly will be.
Yeah.
I certainly will be.
Will you be watching it on the day?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Without a doubt, yeah.
Do you remember the first ever thing that we filmed when we started doing series 1? What was the first stuff we filmed?
We filmed in London.
Was it us on the coach?
I actually think it was arriving in London. When we got off the coach in London. I think it was something like that. I remember Leicester Square was very early on.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah. But we started it because that's the only time we've ever shot not in Wales is those 2 days. Actually, do you know what? I think it might be like that bar. Might be the bar scene.
Oh, when we're doing the shots and everything.
Yeah.
I remember halfway through that because obviously I don't smoke in real life and Stacey was a smoker and I really practiced beforehand because I thought, right, I'm going to master this now. I'm going to be good. And I did. I think it was about one smoking scene, wasn't it? And you told me to just stop smoking because I was so bad, didn't you? Did you think I was that bad?
I wasn't convinced that you were a smoker. I remember thinking Joe might look better if she had a cigarette hole. I'd never seen anyone smoke quite so elegantly.
Well, I remember I then stopped smoking after I didn't smoke throughout the rest of it. But before that, we'd done all of the bit in the club. And obviously I'm not a smoker in real life, but some of the other, ones were. And there were a pack of real life Marlboro Lights, I think it was, on the table. And I picked one up in the scene and then somebody lit the cigarette and I took a massive big drag of it and literally felt like I was about to pass out and genuinely felt quite drunk during those scenes then, knocking back the pretend shots and stuff.
That, I have to say, talking about favourite scene, that is one of my favourite ever scenes. That scene in the club.
Yeah.
Sort of almost, I so believe that you're all getting drunk. It's brilliantly acted and it's brilliantly edited because it's just the club that you go, oh yeah, this is
what goes on.
People drinking real drinks and now I know smoking is.
And James obviously mentioned the sofa for sitting on. Typical, isn't it? We're really trying to get something out of people and they just go for comfort.
Yeah.
But what's your favourite set to work in, would you say?
Out of all of the Pam and Bix, just because of the space. But then there's something joyous about Gwen's, like when you've got everybody in it, like the scene, I think when we had the fish and chips, like a big scene, there's so many people and they always sit round and look at it now. We went in and we've got something in there in this one, but we used to shoot so much in there and generally going, how do we shoot all of that, all that stuff, all those people?
I loved it in there. That's where I've always felt happiest.
It's
my
because it's your home. Yeah.
And I love it when Bryn is there and Gwen and Jason
and the omelettes are flowing.
I feel so happy there. And it's really small, but I love it. And do you remember on the first series, there was a weird smell which started in the house and we didn't know why and what the smell was. And we discovered at the end of filming that somebody had accidentally turned her freezer off in real life in the house.
Yeah.
And the freezer had gone off and all of the food had been sort of rotting all the way through filming.
I remember that smell. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I bet she was pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably got a new freezer. It'd been all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was fun. And also, what was great is I love when you shoot in those places and you imagine the sets, but then you've got buses and cars and stuff going past the windows.
Yeah. What did you think of it this time when we went back and there were so many crowds watching us this time?
Yeah, it was insane, wasn't it? I had to reblock an entire scene because I'm shooting it one way and then there was barriers with loads of people and I was like, oh, hadn't quite factored that into my
my God. I was going to say then,
switch the whole thing round.
Gosh.
I was going to ask then which scene it was, and then I thought I can't ask you that,
No,
can I?
no, we can't. No,
You weren't in it though, Joe.
I was going to ask you something about the characters, and I don't want you to say who your favourite is, but just the complexity, as we were talking with Rob and Adrian earlier. We all know those characters. That's why it went down well. It's like Only Fools and Horses. You love the characters. You care about all of them, and there's so many layers. But for you, you know, character-wise, when you watch, is there a favourite couple of yours, or you know, a relationship between two people, or is it just all of them? You know.
You know what? And it's a really interesting thing. I mean, obviously, it would be Stacey, obviously, but I'm not going to see it. But I think it's genuinely, you could put, and I remember thinking this, you could put any two of the characters in that show in a scene together and you get something brilliant because all the relationships, and I think because it is fundamentally a show about relationships, the fact that it doesn't matter who's, you know, it's, I never go, oh no, it's, oh, how's,
no, never.
These two are going to, oh, this is going to be a tricky one. You just generally go, oh, this is great. I've never seen a scene with these two. And everybody you can mix and match as much as you like. And sit here and edit sometimes. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite. She's my favorite. Oh, no, actually, he's my favorite. Because everything just changes because there's so much brilliant characterization from everybody that I would honestly be hard pressed to say who I don't think I have a favorite because I'm just genuinely excited with whoever I'm editing, really.
Yeah.
Oh, what an amazing job you've done for all those years. Thank you so much for what you've done. Really.
You want to see what Joe Page is like unedited. Pretty.
I do. All the bloody time.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Imagine my job. No, I'm joking. Joanna Peake is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal actress.
Oh,
it's been so much fun and it was so lovely, this special, wasn't it? I think I was crying from about the second day. I think you were crying on the second day as well, but I think it was, you know, when we got like further down, I actually saw you like properly cry.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think the day when we left, there's time when you go, oh, I'm never going to be here again. It was, and you were terrible because you become
dreadful.
You come in and just go, well, we'll never be here again. I'm like, oh, well, I need to thought about that.
Yeah. On the second day, I think we finished on Barry Island.
Yeah.
And that's when I started crying, didn't I?
Yeah.
It was terrible.
We'll never be in the slots again.
Yeah. And I remember getting into the car to go back to unit base for lunch, and I really was properly crying. And I felt so upset. And then I found out that my makeup artist had managed to get herself a chicken breast for lunch instead of what was on the menu. And finding that out literally straight away knocked me out of my being upset. And I just straight away just went, well, how the fuck did you manage to get that? And it brought me back down to earth and sort of shook me out of my tears. So that was quite good. So thank you to Shamila and her chicken breast.
She went to demand her own chicken breast. You know, and I can't believe nobody's told me there's chicken breast off menu.
Oh, well, listen, Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
No,
really.
Thank
It's a real honour.
Yeah, no, I really hope you enjoy it.
I can't wait. We're going to do a debrief, though, in the new year. We're doing a full Gavin and Stacey, what we thought of the ep.
Oh, bloody hell.
So maybe you could pop back for 10 minutes and
that could be awkward, though, if you don't like it.
We'll be critiquing it on our telly pod.
Yeah. Just blame the director, that's what I think. Oh, well,
oh my
really
God, thank you so much for chatting to us,
so
Chris.
lovely to see you and lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you and Merry Christmas to you.
Can't wait to see you at the screening.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
See you.
Lots of
Bye.
love.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, wasn't that just so lovely talking to Chris? I love her so much.
Well, so lovely. And you are so lucky. I bet she's amazing on a floor directing you.
She's fantastic. She is my most favourite person I have ever worked with.
Oh, that is
You don't feel
fab.
any pressure. You feel perfectly relaxed, able to just be free and just... I love her. I love her with all
And
my
just
heart.
so lovely of her to get James to pop on and say hello as well.
I know, that was so lovely that he popped in and said hi.
Really, really sweet of him.
Yeah.
Really, really sweet. I just don't know if they realise what they've made, but there you go.
Oh. But what's funny though is that, you know, we're chatting about another, but what's coming out of it so much is just this whole feeling of love and everybody just, because I'm not nervous or feeling any pressure. Well, I mean, I'm not, because I'm not editing it and I'm not, you know, I'm just a piece of it. But I think that it's just overriding all of it. It's just the love that we've all got for each other.
Yeah, it's really come out today. I can really see the joy. You're like one big family. It is absolutely beautiful. And that does show through the series. And I think that's why people love it so much, because you can see the joy.
And listeners, make sure that you tune in to Gavin and Stacey, the finale, on BBC One Christmas Day at 9:00. Now, before we go, we have had so many voice notes from all of our lovely listeners about Gavin and Stacey.
We have, and I think we need to get through a few of them. So should we start with this one?
Yeah, come on.
I just wanted to say, I'd never heard about Gavin and Stacey before I started listening to your podcast. I know you must be thinking she's living under her rock. I was. I watched it. I binged it all in like 2 weekends. And I was obsessed. All my life now is Gavin and Stacey orientated, and I cannot wait for Christmas Day. I'm going to be in Portugal, because I am from Portugal, and I'll be there with my family for Christmas Day. But I will for sure be tuning in and making everyone watch the Christmas special. I'm so excited.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
A new follower of Gavin and Stacey.
Yeah. God, that's
It's
mad,
amazing, isn't it, that there are people, and I'm sure there are generations of people that will keep finding it. Eliza's 14. Do you know what I mean? Your Eva's...
Well, yeah, she's 11.
11, but they will find it. And because I don't think it's going to age, I think it is ageless as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it will
Yeah.
stay.
Should we have another one?
Yeah.
I've just finished listening to your latest episode and was giggling in the car listening to you, Joe, talk about your banana breakfast and the suits and going off on a tangent. And it reminded me so much of the episode in Gavin and Stacey where you're telling Pam about your brunch and she tells you it's the most boring thing she's ever heard and you need to get a life. And I was giggling in the car because it was so uncannily like it, and just, yeah, made me smile. So thank you for that. Not saying that you're boring and you need to get a life, obviously.
Well, I was going to say, actually, is she saying that your banana story was really boring? Because at one point, there are certain times in here where I could be a bit pum and go, do you know what, Joe?
Yeah.
I love you to pieces, but you're boring the life out of me, love.
You know, I saw that clip the other day, and it was the whole Pam comes in, and then Stacey's just like, you know, I was hungry, and then I had this and that. In the end, I had a banana, and I saw it, and I was like, oh my God.
But it is hilariously.
Yeah, and I think I am quite like that in real life. Because I will go off on a tangent.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, it must be quite boring.
You're not boring, really. Love you to pieces.
Should we have another one?
Yes, let's.
Just wanted to send a voice note to say that me and my boyfriend have started watching Gavin and Stacey from the start, and he's never seen it before, so I wanted to get him up to speed before the Christmas episode. Anyway, so we got to the end of episode 4 in series 1, and I feel like surely someone will have messaged in saying this already, so sorry if they have, but there's a clip where Smithy and then Gavin, Pam and Mick are playing Shag, Marry, and then I think it's like go on a cruise around the world. And Smithy picks Sonia from EastEnders to marry. Anyway, I thought that was very funny.
Yes! I know!
Oh my God, I literally have only just realised that.
Smithy marries me. He chooses me to marry.
Oh my God.
Because Sonia's a good egg.
Oh my God, I've only just realised that. What did you think when you heard that?
It's always been on his mind. It's always been there. Just doesn't get quite in.
What did you think when you heard that?
Oh, it was brilliant. I loved it. Loved it. It's so brilliant to be in something so iconic.
Oh my God.
To be mentioned.
Yeah.
But you're in it.
Oh my
So do you see what I mean? Where I'm coming from? You don't quite get it, do you? You still don't quite understand. Oh, I'm loving these voice notes.
Shall we have our last voice note?
Yeah, just one more.
So we've never had like a traditional, what do we sit and watch? We've always watched something in the evening. And often it's like one of the series we've been watching, like their Christmas specials. So either Gavin and Stacey or Downton Abbey specials or Call the Midwife. That's always been like what we do. But with Gavin and Stacey this year, obviously very, very, very excited. Can't actually explain this. So we live in Bristol and my husband's family live in Swansea. So we're splitting our Christmas day with having the morning in Bristol and then we're travelling to Swansea in the evening. But I did say to my husband when this was discussed, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll go to Swansea Christmas night because we'll be spending Boxing Day with them. Let's leave at like 10. And he said, well, why are we leaving at 10? I said, well, because obviously we can't go before Gavin and Stacey's over. And he was like, I'm not travelling at 10 o'clock at night on Christmas Day. And I said, well, I'm not leaving until Gavin and Stacey's finished. Anyway, we've come to the conclusion that actually his family are just as much fans and it will be the most exciting point of the day for everybody. And I have agreed that we will leave before Gavin and Stacey starts because the whole family are going to be sitting and watching it together. So just that's how important the whole thing is to me.
Oh my God, it's actually started to now make me feel a bit nervous.
No, it really is.
Because like, what if people watch it and think it's shit?
Well, you'll soon know about it, love. In this day and age, you'll soon know about it, but they won't. It's going to be great.
Thanks, guys, so much for sending in so many voice notes. I always love listening to what, everybody thinks.
It's fantastic, and you're all as excited as me about this special. So,
God, me too.
We
I can't wait to see the
watch
flipping
you.
thing
we
now.
can't wait to sit down and watch you at 9 o'clock.
Well, that was really lovely chatting to all of my friends,
What
reminiscing.
Honestly, what a magical... I feel honoured to have been a part of that. Honestly, it's so exciting. They were an absolute delight. You must be so... You're very lucky to all work together. You all seem like brilliant people.
Yeah, I think I've been very lucky on that job because, I mean, this group of people, they're lovely.
Yeah.
Really, really lovely.
No, absolutely brilliant. And also, you don't just have to listen to this episode. You can watch it on YouTube because we've gone a little bit posh.
We've gone all fancy now,
Haven't we,
haven't
Jo?
we? We have, look at us. We've got a bit of makeup on, got a dress on.
You've got a little frock on. I'm still in my cardigan like Pauline Fowler, but never mind. But yeah, you can listen or watch on YouTube, and I really hope you enjoy this. And we are going to have a little Christmas break.
Yes, so we can spend some time with our families,
Absolutely.
enjoy Christmas.
Absolutely, but we will be back in the new year, kicking it off with a Gavin and Stacey special about the finale.
Oh my gosh.
We can
I
pick
can
it to
finally
pieces.
talk about it.
Yeah. So please, listeners, let us know what you think about the final ever episode of Gavin and Stacey.
What did you think of it?
Did it surprise you? Did it make you cry?
How are you going to cope without it being there anymore?
Thank goodness for BBC iPlayer. That's
Thank
all I can
goodness.
say.
Yeah.
It'll be on a loop in my house.
Well, listeners, let us know all of your voice notes and all of your opinions and what you think. I'm going to have to use my script for the number because I've not been able to remember it. Send us a voice note on WhatsApp and the number is 03306 784 704. My goodness, finally chat about what's happened. That's going to be lovely.
It is going to be lovely. But for now, we're still on countdown. This episode, we hope it gets you in the mood.
Yes.
And have a fantastic Christmas. Thank
Have
you
a
so much
lovely
for
Christmas.
all your voice notes. They mean
Yeah.
so much to us. So thank you for all of those.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can still listen to this on BBC Sounds or come and give us a watch on YouTube. But have a lovely, lovely Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Nat.
Merry Christmas, Jo. And a
And
Merry Christmas
to everyone at home.
to everyone there. Thank you so much for watching. That episode was so fun, and we cannot wait to watch the Gavin and Stacey finale.
For more telly chat and recommendations, listen to our podcast Off the Telly on BBC Sounds.